So you will find two types of materials mixed together. That's what they would call it, like a formula, in making the longboard wheels. It's mostly the combination of polyurethane and polypropylene. So when you combine these polyurethane and polypropylene in certain mixture, you will adjust the hardness of the wheels. So let's not talk about the hardness right away, but we are talking about the materials that we are using in the wheels. So if your wheels want to be a little softer, you have more polyurethane in it and less of polypropylene. And when you want your wheels to be a little bit harder, you increase the percentage, like more of polypropylene and less of polyurethane. So that kinds of gives the hardness of your wheels. And these are the two materials used. One is polyurethane. Kindly forgive me, I'm writing it with my mouse. Urethane and polypropylene. Forgive me if the spelling is wrong, but these are the two materials which is used in combination to form the gum part of the wheel. And for the most part, for the most part, the material of the core remains to be hard plastic in most of the manufacturers that you will find here. Almost all the manufacturers make the core to be in hard plastic, and only few manufacturers make the core in aluminum, but you don't find with every other manufacturers over here. But one such manufacturer who makes the core in aluminum is called Onboard CO wheels, or ON wheels. That's what they are calling it. What they are doing is like they are keeping the core to be the permanent part of your longboard or the truck. You screw in your central metal aluminum made core to your wheel axle. That's it. You only fix your wheel or mount your wheel. You don't have to screw and unscrew every time your gum wears out of riding after a long time. It's like what you do is like you don't change the entire wheel system. You kind of permanently mount your core. So that's what you see here, which is the aluminum, and you only change the gum, the softer part of the material that you will find on the longboard later. So this is one of the manufacturers who kind of makes these kind of wheels wherein you'll find the permanent metal aluminum core, and rest you only change the gum, the rubber part of it. That's one strange manufacturer. And with the core design and the size of the core and the design varies depending upon the purpose and the kind of longboard that you are choosing. So like few longboards might take like 608 bearings, and few longboards might take even bigger bearings, say considering the electric longboards. They might have a bigger bearings used in the motors with the drive system they have, so they might have a different size core. Most of the longboard cores are using 608 bearings. Okay, so and the design patterns that you find here in this core, or like kind of act like a suspension as in taking most of the vibrations, as well as they say serve as a design element wherein you mount in the electric board's drive system to the wheel. You kind of attach the electric board drive system through these holes into these wheels, and you convert your board into a electric longboard. That's how the core size and materials vary, and you might have observed by now, like these skateboard wheels and longboard freeride wheels have a different core, and these have a different core size and a different design. So probably you might have observed from that. And these are different various designs of the core that you will find, the patterns, the groove that is in there, the kind of suspensions and everything. And it also goes with the customized electric drive mechanism to put in that thing. Like it goes with different materials and kind of manufacturers that you will find. And finally, we are going to take a look at the durometer factor. Durometer is something the hardness of the wheel, gums of the wheel, the material that you will find on the wheels actually. So it always reads this number. Sorry, let me redraw on that. Say like 76A, 80A, 83A, 84A, or 88A, or something like that. So most of the durometer or the hardness of the wheels goes with a scale A, and these wheels with scale A or softer wheels, it's kind of has the more rubber quality to it, and it's again made with the same formula of polyurethane polypropylene, but it's much more softer. So these kind of wheels of the longboard with certain softness vary from 75A to 88A. Wheels between these numbers are like wheels between these numbers 75A and 88A are like for design for the longboard and freeride longboards and few skateboards wherein you just use it for commute and everything. The softness at the durometer level with the scale A, or the softness level of the gum that is being used in the wheel, and it varies between 75A to 88A on longboards, and with the skateboard it goes between 95A to 100A. So on a skateboard, the hardness and the durometer of the wheels goes between 95A to 100A. And I think we have discussed everything that we need to talk about the wheels. And let's get back to the parts here, and we'll talk a little bit on the skateboard wheels, wherein like with the skateboard wheels, most of the skateboard wheels, as you see from the design here, are smaller. Skateboard wheels are smaller, and the size of the skateboard wheels vary between 45 mm to 65 mm. Most of the skateboard wheels vary between 45 mm to 65 mm. Actually, even lower than 65 mm, let's say like 60 mm, not more than that, because they have a lower wheelbase and they have a lower height of the axle or the trucks. So anyway, those can take only these size wheels inside. So most of these skateboard wheels of the size between 45 to 60 mm, and the longboard wheels are from the size say like 60 mm to 100 mm. Those are the size of the longboard wheels. And as you saw, like we discussed the difference between skateboard wheels and longboard wheels. Skateboard wheels are much harder and longboard wheels are much softer. So the skateboard wheels have the same size of the core, depends upon the bearings that you use. Most of the skateboard wheels also take the same 608 bearings. So the axle size of such bearings vary between two sizes, 6 mm and 8 mm. So mostly the 608 bearings are like 8 mm bearings. So the core size of the skateboard wheels also goes like that. And even skateboard wheels have the same elements that we discussed here as the parts and of the longboard wheel, like the contact patch, lip profile, the core, the sidewalls, and the size and the texture and everything. Okay, and there is one more durometer factor for the skateboard wheels is like they have hardness value defined in B also, scale B also, so which means like much more harder wheels. So what is the factor and how to choose longboards and skateboards depending upon the wheels that you have, what kind of wheels to choose for what kind of longboard? It defines the purpose in the most important factor to consider is the purpose of the longboard. Like say if you're going for a downhill, obviously you will need much more broader wheels, say like these kind of orangutan wheels, much more like between 70 to 70 to 100 mm width contact patch wheels, and with the 70 to 100 mm diameter wheels with much more wider contact patch, and the material being much more for a downhill board, it will be preferred to have a shiny contact patch surface. And with the downhill board, it's like when you're going on the downhill board, like when you want to slow down your board at the turns, when you break the board by sliding out and sliding in, or like when they call it like exit speeds or something. So in those times, these kind of shiny wheels will provide a lot of grip and help you do that thing much more faster, and it helps you do that slide and slide out, slide in and slide out, and slowing down your board and getting faster exit speeds and everything. These kind of wheels will help you on that. And these kind of rounded wheels with rough texture, kind of stone grounded texture, kind of is used mostly in freeride boards, where freeride boards are mostly used in urban areas for commute and urban area sliding and doing 180 360s, that kind of tricks that you want to perform in between, like you want to give a quick 180 slide, or you break in, or like you do some 360 kind of tricks. You kind of take a slide in and slide out, and then you move on with your board. Like these rounded wheels with stone grounded textures are used for that. And these kind of threaded patterns wheels are again used in downhill boards, wherein you need to go in a straight path and you need to break in hard. Like these kind of gives a lot of grips and kind of give a lot of resistance when you do the sliding turn, and gives you much more exit speeds when you slide back in. So threaded patterns are used in downhill boards. And you will find skateboard wheels with these kind of stone grounded textures, as well as some hard shiny plastic with higher grade durometer, like 90 mm to 99 or 98 durometer wheels will have much more shiny surface as in the lip profile than this grounded texture that you will find here. Okay, so that's how the wheels are being chosen for the kind of longboard or skateboard that you want to do. It's mostly the purpose of the wheels that is defined. And another important factor wherein you decide what kind of wheels is like it depends upon the core that we are going to choose. Like the core that you are looking here. I'm sorry, I've switched off my Wi-Fi connection for some reasons. Okay, so the core is something that you see in the center of the longboard wheel. So another important factor to look here, like I'm sorry, I kind of left out this in between. So this is about the core and the types of cores. So one of the important factors to look in the types of core is like this. A core can be placed in three different types. Like one of the core is like, this is the side view, that's why you're looking the wheel in a rectangular shape. So since the core will also be in circular shape, so we're going to place this we're going to draw the core in a rectangular shape as well. So a core which is in the center is called center set core. So you'll have the lip profiles and the sidewalls like this, which are more even on the left side and on the back side of the wheel, as well as the open side of the wheel or the front side of the wheel. The back side is like the one which goes to the truck and axle, and the front side goes to the outside. So the center core that you will find, if it is placed in the center of the wheel, it's called center set core. Okay, and it will have the equal amount of sidewalls and lip profiles on either back side and the front side of the wheel. Next comes the side set center core, wherein the center core is placed onto the side of the wheel, which is almost close to the axle, where the wheel is getting mounted onto the trucks. It's called the side set core. And the lip profile, which is facing the backside or towards the trucks, or is much less, and you will find more of the lip profile and sidewalls on the front side of the wheel. So this is called side set center core. And the next one is called offset center core, this is not completely onto the right side or the other side, front side, close to the front side of the wheel, but it's actually slightly offset or slightly on the right side of the center. So it's called offset core, wherein you will have more of a lip profile and everything from here. And this offset can be on either ways, like it could be from the center onto the left, or onto the left, or onto the right. And this is called offset center core, and this is not much more like the side core that you will find like very close to the trucks or the axle, but this one is like this offset core is slightly off from the center but towards the front side of the wheel, and you will have the difference in the lip profile and the side walls accordingly for the offset core. So these three kind of decide or the type of wheels that you're going to use for the type of purpose that you find, and the thing is like most of the center set cores can be found for all stable riding, where you takes lot of loads and it wants to go straight and that kind of riding, wherein you don't do a lot of break in and break out, slide in and slide out, that kind of tricks and everything doesn't involve that much, like kind of very stable and go straight, like it has a lot of grip and everything. That kind of longboards use these wheels and this kind of setup in the core. And the side set core can be found with the wheels that you are seeing in carvers and other surf skates and other board, wherein like you kind of used to in kind of beginner wheels and smaller size wheels, wherein you kind of use it to carve, go slide 180 degrees and do 360 degree turns and everything, which kind of helps you move the board off the center, from the line that you're riding. The side set core kind of wheels are used for that purpose, and the offset kind of core wheels are mostly found in the free rides and downhill boards, particularly downhill boards, wherein like these kind of offset wheels are like providing you the enough amount of the design to move, slide out and get back in and get the maximum exit speed. So you will find most of the offset wheels to be bigger and kind of used in downhill boards, and all the side set core wheels are being used in carvers, surf skate and other kind of urban rides, smaller boards and smaller wheels. And you will find center set core kind of wheels mostly in freelance skates and everything. So I'm sorry, that's one of the topic which I left out earlier, and I think I have covered everything about the longboard and skateboard wheels. And as you can see from the narration, like I'm very new to all these things, but if I had left out any of the points, please do mention in the comments, and be kind on the comments as well. And so I think I have covered most of the parts of the wheel and necessary elements of the wheel, and hope it was helpful for both of us. Thank you. This is Kicha signing off. Bye bye.